Hey friends, Shay here. So I am here to give you a little bit of a recommendation video. I've been asked to do this quite a bit lately. It's been a minute since I've talked about webtoons. I do actually read quite a few, so I'm here to talk about the ones that I read with you. Some of my favorites, at least. So these are all found on Line Webtoon. This is not a sponsored video. I know they did sponsored videos way back in the day, but I don't have nearly the subscribership that they want for a sponsored video. So I'm just going to tell you the ones that I'm madly in love with. Some of them you'll have heard of, others you probably haven't. And let's go from there. So let's start with what started it all for me, really. And that is Lore Olympus, which is getting a physical release now. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which has this stunning cover. But Lore Olympus is a Hades and Persephone style story. You're dealing with all the different Greek gods within the pantheon, but the main focus is on Hades and Persephone and their interactions with the gods. It's the color that she uses in this story is amazing because it uses bright, vibrant colors to help you understand where people are at, how they feel, things like that. It is amazingly done. This is the first 25 chapters in the first release. Each volume, I think, will have about 25 chapters, and we're almost 200 chapters in, so I'm very, very excited. I love this story so very much. One of my all-time favorites. So, of course, I had to get this stunning edition. And as much as I love the other edition, this is the standard picture most people will see on their editions. I just fell in love with this way too much. And I had no idea this was happening until it showed up at my bookstore. I am a Barnes & Noble bookseller, so I might be looking at it with jaded eyes, but man, I love this cover. It is so stunning. Another one that actually has a physical release, I've got the first 2 volumes of it, and I'm way behind on it, and that's Space Boy. In this one, we are following a young girl named Amy. To Amy, everybody has, a smell. Their aura has a smell to her. And so if their smell changes, she knows something's off. Essentially, she's been living in space this whole time. So yeah, she's been living in a mining colony in deep space for a long time. And she ends up getting sent to Earth. But in that time, they're, put in stasis, essentially. And so, when she lands on Earth, all of her friends are, older, married, have children. And so she's feeling very alone. And it's about how she comes across this mysterious boy named Oliver at school. And it's about their friendship and the secrets of Oliver and all those kinds of things. It's called Space Boy for a reason. I'm not going to tell you why. But again, this is another one where the art is absolutely wonderful. And the use of color and panels is amazing because it kind of helps you know how Amy's feeling. And I really enjoy it. I really love it. I do need to catch up, not only on the physical releases, but on the actual webtoon. I think it might be finished, but I'm not there yet. So, yes, I definitely need to catch up on Space Boy, and I absolutely adore it. I heard about this one talked for a long time, but it was Natalie over at Pages and Panels who finally convinced me to read it. The rest of them don't have physical releases that you can easily get your hands on, at least. So, let's go down my list. Next, we have Let's Play. Anybody who's a content creator will probably love Let's Play. Essentially, this is about Sam. She created her own video game and sent it to her favorite gaming YouTuber. And he kind of half-heartedly plays it and didn't really understand how to play it. And so he put this negative review out online. And so all of his fans went and blasted her account where she uploaded the game and basically made her score tank. So her game's not coming up in search engines, all those kinds of things. And she wants to confront him. Little does she know he's moving in next door. And so it's about their interaction and stumbling through that and just their lives in general and the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. And it's so well done. This does deal with depression and anxiety and all those kinds of things. It's very well done. The mental health rep is amazing. And yes, highly, highly recommend. Another one with fantastic art. And you ship Sam with everybody. I ship Sam with everybody anyway, so whoever she ends up with, I'll be fine. Except Charles. Charles is the only one I'm not okay with. That's all I'm going to say for now. All right, next up we have Socializing 101. Now, this one is amazing. You're dealing with two main characters who have anxiety. One is getting help. Throughout the story, they get to a point where they get help at least. But essentially, it's just about these two people who don't know how to interact with people because of their anxiety and the friendship that they form and how that develops. And it is so amazing. I love it so much. Again, the art on this one is very different. It's a little, I would say, softer, I think is the word that I would use compared to the other titles I've talked about. It's a softer, more sketch feel to the art. They both have their secrets and they both have their things that they're dealing with. And the friend group is a little bit bigger than that, but it primarily focuses on those two and their interactions with them. I highly recommend it. The next one is a fun one for all of my historical romance lovers, and that is The First Night with the Duke. So essentially, it's this girl who's transported into her favorite historical romance novel, and she gets drunk and ends up sleeping with the hero. And because she took his virginity, now he's obsessed with her instead of him being obsessed with the character he's supposed to be obsessed with. And so it's about her trying to like correct what happened. It's amazing. I love it. I laughed so hard. And again, the art is really cute in this one. Next is another really popular one that you see advertised quite a bit, and that is I Love You. So essentially, this is about, I just forgot her name. It's about a young woman who, when she's young, her parents separate and takes her mom and her sister leave. She's with her dad. Her dad doesn't take it well and basically turns into a slobbering drunk. So it's about her learning to survive. And then she begins to interact with this guy at school who happens to be loaded and kind of helps get her on her feet with the help of his older brother. And like, it's a love triangle between the two brothers, which are half brothers, I believe. So they have the same father, different mothers. And about all of the crazy problems that they have because they have money, and she gets kind of wrapped up in all of it. It's amazing. I love it a whole stinking ton. And again, you are going to see somebody dealing with addiction. You are going to see depression. You are going to see anxiety. You're going to see a lot of mental health stuff. A lot of these webtoons that I love deal with that kind of stuff in a really nice way. So yes, just know that that's there. Next is Shadow Bride. This is for more of my fantasy lovers, my fantasy romance lovers. So essentially, this woman helps heal the prince on the battlefield, who is not actually the prince. And so it's like a prince in disguise kind of thing, and it's amazing. I love it so very much. So this prince then becomes like obsessed with her, and she equally becomes obsessed with him. And yes, it's so good. I love it so much. But yeah, there are secrets. There are things going on there that I'm not going to tell you because they'll be revealed within the volumes. But yes, highly, highly recommend. This one, the next one I'm going to recommend, I know is complete, and that is Age Matters. This is an older woman, younger man office romance, and it is so good. It's frenemies to friends to lovers, I would say. And it's a boss employee romance. It's really, really good. And again, I love the art, and the characters are amazing. Daniel is the male lead. He really brings a lot to the table as a really young CEO of his company. And Rose, our female lead, kind of helps fill in the gaps for him that he doesn't naturally gravitate to on his own because of her life experience. And it's amazing. I love them. Basically, at the beginning, Rose's engagement to this guy she's been with for a long time ends because he was cheating on her. And her friend's like, hey, I'm out of town for a while. Come do my job for me, which is to like clean the house of and make sure there is food for this CEO, Daniel. And that's how they meet. And their meet cute is not that cute. It's kind of full of antagonism, and things go from there. It's fantastic. I love it. Next is the only, I just realized that's the only LGBT on my list. I do read others, but for whatever reason, they didn't make it on my list. I do read a lot, so. So this one is #muted. So basically, it's about this boy who is kind of selectively mute, as far as I can tell. Had a really bad engagement, and after that, he's only drawn out by this guy who works, I forget if it's a museum or an aquarium. I think it's a museum. I can't remember. Anyways, and their interactions are adorable as all get out, and I love it. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. And again, another one I'm a little bit behind on. I do need to catch up. And then the last one is one of the most popular ones on the Line Webtoon site, and that is True Beauty. There is a K-drama based on this, and a lot of my friends who love K-dramas, like, one of the guys is one of their favorite actors. So I've heard it's amazing. I haven't watched it yet. But in this one, we have a teenage girl who feels like she's not pretty like the rest of her family. And so she learns how to do really good makeup. So that by the time she hits high school, she is confident in how she looks. But one day she goes to the manga store to pick up her favorite horror manga and runs into the beautiful Suo. And they start a friendship based on that. And later, there's another guy that comes into the picture who is crazy about her. And yes, it's dramatic, big love triangle, and this one's a long, ongoing one. A lot of people said that they liked how the K-drama ended, I believe. And that they don't like how the story is currently going. But I still love it. I think it's great, and I honestly am grateful that I'm reading it. So there are 10 that I am absolutely in love with. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any webtoons that you love. If you don't have a webtoon that you love, choose some sort of green colored emoji, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.